Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Let's Read Haze and Equestria 2, The Twiles of Love.
Twiles of
We're,
Love.
we're on the final. We're on the final stretch here of the Let's Read live stream extravaganza, bringing in the new year. Right now, we're just waiting for the West Coast of the United States to get their chance at the holiday day change, year change.
Yep.
I Kiss the Men. And so now we read the Haze in Equestria.
It's been a hell of a marathon of stories. I can tell you that much.
It feels appropriate to close out 2016 with a grueling march to the end of a bunch of fan fiction chapters. So, Alicorn, guys, chapter 1, mirror, world. Okay, and we start right off with silver. Great floating summer islands. This is a cold terrain.
Should I narrate?
Yeah.
I can go ahead. Silver moaned as he desperately tried to curl up in a ball underneath 12 heavy layers of blankets. Twilight and her friends desperately tried not to laugh at him.
This is rarity.
That was Nero.
Okay, can somebody
Nero's
else
unicorn.
I'm actually a bit tired right now.
Okay.
Wait, which one are we reading?
Mirror world.
Okay.
Silver, darling, are you sure that you need that many blankets?
Rarity snickered from the other side of the train cart. I only glared at her.
Well, Rarity, I grew up on floating island above the cloud layer, magically heated by a warm summer's day. Every day, I don't do coal, achoo.
Silver sniffled as he retreated farther into the blanket forest he had constructed around him.
God.
Okay.
This is you, Blue. Actually, no, you want me to do it. That's right.
What?
AJ.
Hold on.
Well, Silver, perhaps you shouldn't have come up with us to the Crystal Empire right darn in the middle winter.
Applejack slyly remarked as Silver tried to glare at her, but found he was too weighed down by the thick blankets to meet her eyes, and instead looked more like a child trying his hardest to look menacing. Twilight sat beside Silver, rolled her eyes at her childlike love. She was very curious about him sometimes. She loved him. Or she thought she did. He was heroic, strong, kind, brave. He was a white knight in shimmering armor. But at the same time, Twilight sighed.
He was dead.
Silver Haze wasn't perfect. Twilight knew No Pony was. But his quirks could be challenging sometimes. He could be insensitive, downright rude to those he considered beneath him. She understood he came from a royal line where the formalities were much stronger, but it's almost seemed like he's expected every pony else to change their ways instead of him. And his opium on earth ponies, well,
they are filthy mud horses, but, you know.
He was trying, at least. Still, though, the one thing that Twilight could never get over was Silver love. Not of her. What? But of Luna.
That's a weird break.
Very. Silver made no effort to hide that he was seeing Luna seriously, as well as her. As Twilight had learned from long talks with Silver Haze and research into their culture, the Alicorns of Alicornia were a polygamous society who didn't believe in the idea.
The extensive research into the culture of incredibly secretive people who you had no one had any idea existed before this point, besides the princesses, who very deliberately hid all information about them. Yeah, all those books that super exist, I'm sure.
It should have just been like, oh yeah, Silver Haze explained it.
Question, yeah.
Who didn't, the other were polygamous society, who didn't believe in the idea of chaining down an alicorn to a single spouse. That's polygamy. It's not, oh, it is polygamy. I thought it was, yeah. What they mean is polyamory, because none of them are married.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is Silver Haze isn't married to any of them yet, is he?
No, he isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank God. They thought that love should be given freely to everyone who you care about. Sexual love. However, that was not the case in Equestria, and although Luna, being born in that society and having not been around to see that change occur in Equestria, was content with being a two-timer and a terrible whore and betraying her best friend. Twilight, on the other hand,
slap you.
Okay.
Twilight, on the other hand, was struggling trying to understand Silver.
I'm back.
Welcome back. If he loved her, why did he still coddle Luna? He's not coddling her. He's fucking her. How could he tell her she was the most amazing thing he had ever seen and then rut Luna senseless hours later? Damn. Getting saucy. How could such a gentle soul around her and yet be willing to attack any pony who questioned him? He's willing to threaten physical violence.
Yeah.
This sounds like dump this douchebag. You're way better than this guy.
Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're Twilight fucking Sparkle. You're a princess.
No, seriously.
Go find some random commoner.
I actually had a thought about this, like on the ride back from the horrible New Year's Eve party I was at, where I was just thinking about like what would be an interesting follow-up story to these ones, like what would be an actually interesting sequel, and the idea was basically, well, what if you actually wrote like a realistic sequel to this, where like after that initial like bloom had worn off this relationship, and Twilight realized she was like, committed, like a committed long-term relationship with the like having like been like pregnant with the children of this violent, racist, elitist dickhead who is like banging her, mentor's sister, and who is downright rude and dismissive to all of her friends, aggressively attacks anyone he sees as like stepping on his turf, and who basically has like pushed her to think of him as her only real friend, while she basically ignores all of her other friends.
He's the alpha pony.
I'm sorry. I just thought of like an argument between them being like, why do you hate these Earth ponies so much? Why do you love them so much? If you love anti-alicorns so much, why don't you just marry one?
And then she does.
Yeah.
Gone.
What line are we on?
Right. Wait, what?
Yeah, I think that's where we're on.
Yeah.
Right? Twilight knew she loved him, right?
Crystal Empire. Time. 9:48 p.m.
The train came to a slow stop outside the Crystal Empire. Silver took a peek outside the window of the train and popped his head back into his blankets with a groan.
This won't be fun.
He spoke between his chattering teeth. As the other ponies began to get off, Silver reluctantly slid out of the blankets that were left in the shape of his body, like a blanket cocoon. Using his levitation, he grabbed a blanket and wrapped it around his neck, despite knowing it was pretty much pointless.
And it's around my neck, not like anywhere
Now he's
else.
surrounding making wishing sounds and pretending he's Superman.
Ice and wind blasted his face as soon as he stepped out, and he was about to step back in when Twilight pushed him along and away from his warm, or as warm as you could get so far up north, haven. Wasn't the train heated? But eventually, Silver
Apparently
gave
not.
in and followed the others to the Crystal Empire, and the thought that there could be insulation in the Crystal Empire seemed to motivate Silver further. There was no insulation in a passenger train?
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
What universe are we in? Oh yeah, bullshit universe.
Fucking bullshit universe. The version of Equestria that has to be significantly worse than the utopia of El Cornucopia.
Like, we've seen passenger trains go from these locations. They don't look unpleasant. They're not box cars that you have to like hide in an emergency blanket to survive.
You don't understand. This is the Equestria that has to be significantly more shit so that it can look like crap compared to Alicorn.
Why?
Land.
That's not even canon. You might as well just like write an entirely standalone story then.
What? That sounds
And
like
take
something a
training
real
wheels off.
writer would do.
Crystal Empire.
10 o'clock time.
Warm
Without the
Celestial
PM this time.
Warm Celestial
Elmo's World.
started to kiss Silver's fur as he approached the Empire. And with the lush green city in sight, he galloped as fast as he could to his savior. And as he entered, he was met with open arms thanks to the magical warmth the crystal heart provided. Twilight chuckled at how her sister seemed to dance with joy in the warmth. Or how her Silver seemed to dance with joy in the warmth, as well as enjoying it herself along with the rest of the ponies.
Oh, by the way, Blue, are you back with us in the story?
No, not yet. I'm posting the last fucking thing for the.
This is
Alright, fair
Silver.
enough. Yeah. There's just cadences coming up soon.
I
I was always Alicorns, but yeah.
Well, then
Shut
keep
up.
Shining. Thank goodness we're out of that blizzard trap of doom. Blizzardy trap of doom. If it weren't for my willpower, I would have frozen. Or stay on the train. Either way, I'm here now and I'm glad I came. Ew. The Empire must be at least 10 times better than the blizzard and the train combined.
Silver, though, to himself as he walked down the main road.
Wait, didn't they
To his-
make a whole big point about the fact that he's supposed to be the rightful ruler of the Crystal Empire because of the fact that Sombro was his papi?
Oh yeah.
Alright, so I posted all of the shit on the
Okay,
Awesome.
we'll have to link me.
DeviantArt that I just fucking.
Link in
I'll
chat.
post it in the stream.
Yeah.
Stayed in the train. Either way, I'm here now and I'm glad I came. Silver lost himself. To his left and right, there were crystal ponies out and about. Hearth's warming eve decorations were strewn about the town, bringing a sense of friendship the Equestria was known for.
Alright, I'm back.
Nero.
Welcome back.
The Equestria.
Shining. Lowercase s.
Yeah. Shining. Cadence.
Capital C.
I heard Twilight cheer beside me, and I looked forward. I saw Princess Cadence, Celestia, Luna, and Shining Armor waiting for us with glee. I see Twilight do a little dance with Cadence, and I simply sigh and roll my eyes, but with a smile on my face. So the story again switched perspectives. I'm not like tripping balls or anything.
It changed into.
Why does this story do this? It's the most disorienting shit.
Because
After all-
fuck you.
Twilight lifting her plot rarely didn't lift his mood. What? However, I noticed
That-
Oh my
Ass.
god, I'll be happier, but
Hold on, Blue, take
that's
over
not
my
enough.
lines for me for a little bit. I'm going to.
What characters is she playing?
Silver.
We're not
Oh, okay.
However, I also noticed the white stallion beside her, apparently her brother, Shining Armor, was giving me a
it's Shinning Armor.
Shining Armor was giving me a death glare. Give me a moment. Well, hold on. I answered back with one of my own. He may have been royalty, but I wasn't going to start backing down from challenges now. His mood shifted once Twilight gave him a hug, but he still kept me in his sights, not one to back down.
Sights.
I walked towards them.
Greetings, ruler of this fair. Oh,
Silver exclaimed as Cadence gave him a great big hug.
Now it's back into third person. Because fuck it.
what? You third person.
Cadence.
Oh.
Since I'm Alcorn's. No need to be so formal. You were Twilight's special sun pony, and you saved our kingdom. And anyone who's Twilight's friend is my friend.
Cadence said, a bubbly tone in her voice. Silver only stood there awkwardly, not used to the idea of throwing out protocol so casually. But with Cadence being a friend of Twilight, he decided against speaking, and only stood there until Cadence let go and stepped back.
Stepping back.
This guy is awful. Silver is a terrible human pony being Alicorn fucktard.
Yeah.
Ah.
I
After a
hate
second-
I hate informality.
After a second, Shinning Armor stepped
God damn it.
in parentheses, and with a nudge from his wife. Heh. Wait, his wife? Oh, that's
His
Shining
wife.
Armor. I forgot.
His wife wiped.
No, I think what it's supposed to say is whipped.
Yeah, it's supposed to say whipped, but it says wiped.
Wow. He stiffly thrusted his hoof forward in greeting, shaking his hoof. I felt him squeeze my hoof. Cute. He was trying to assert dominance. In response to his gentle squeeze, I squeezed in response. I'll have to give him credit. He
I'll
barely
credit.
flinched when I used enough pressure to break a normal pony's hoof. After a
Jesus
second of
Christ.
almost breaking his hoof, he backed down first, letting go and stepping back, shaking his hoof out.
As you do.
Where
is it? Oh.
Strong grip you have there.
Oh.
Shining said, not
Shining
bothering to hide.
Said.
Shit.
Sitting.
I can get used to that. Shining said, not bothering to hide the venom in his voice. In response, Cadence nudged him again, shouting a glare his way.
Shooting the glare.
Shooting a glare his way.
That's
Might as well be shouting.
Mm.
After a few minutes of greetings and catching up, which Silver Haze stayed out off, every pony migrated into the castle, where we met up with Luna and she who shall not be named. What?
Is it
Apparently,
Celestia or Crystal?
Yeah, it's Celestia.
He hates Celestia.
Yeah, exactly.
Why?
Because of a lot of reasons.
Because
Understand.
Celestia is the only character who won't put up with this bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Your rating is my student.
Fuck.
Celestia said, nuzzling Twilight, before standing tall once more.
Please, Applejack, have some lines.
Yeah, you have Earth Ponies and Pegasi. It just fucked them, apparently. And greetings, Applejack, Rarity, Pinkie Pie, Rainbow Dash, and Fluttershy without the capital L.
Okay,
F.
Winter, you forgot it's not Earth ponies. It's anti-alicorns.
True, yes.
Celestia said, a warm smile on her face. I cleared my throat audibly.
Ah, yes. Greetings, Princess.
Huh?
Celestia said offhandedly.
Yes,
Miores.
Looks like okay.
my
Celestia
mic-
said offhandedly.
Celestia said offhandedly, without even looking at me. Well, it was better than when she did it with spite in her voice, so that was something. I'm eating popcorn, so I have to mute my mic sometimes.
Oh,
The rest of the night was a blur of greetings, chatting, a quick meal, and then every pony retiring for the night. I was going to go spend the night with Twilight, but I found her room empty. Shrugging, I went to Luna's room to spend the night there instead.
he's
Thankfully
still
for
too
me,
tiny. What an asshole.
She was. So it was as simple as,
Oh,
the one, like, pony that I have sex with isn't in that room, so I'm gonna go to the other room where the other pony I have sex with is, so we can have sex. Yep. Nice. Crystal Palace. Time, midnight. Twilight. I sighed with a shaky breath as I stood outside the doors to one of the many rooms of the Crystal Empire. I gulped as I forced my hoof to rest on the door. I felt like a filly again, crying over not being able to understand a simple concept, not being able to get a perfect score, even on a retest. I thought I had moved past doing this, but apparently I was still a scared little filly, unable to solve her own problems. Luckily for me, I... Is this Twilight?
Yeah.
It's Twilight.
Oh my.
It's just in the
Somebody-
first person.
Read it?
It's,
No, I am not doing the Robbie Rotten voice for all of this.
Alright. Luckily for me. No. I always had one could wipe up my
Now
teeth,
listen closely.
Now look at this net.
wrap her wings around me, and tell me everything was going to be alright. Knock, knock, knock. Those three quiet knocks sounded so much louder as they sounded again and again as they bounced off the crystal walls, or perhaps it was simply my mind, echoing memories long since past. For a moment,
Bang, bang,
I entertained the thought of running, sprinting, and teleporting down the halls until I got to my room, ducking under the bed, and trying again another time. When I felt braver, but I knew that if I did not do this now, I would never work up the nerve again. And then the doors opened, and I felt my heart stop and my breath catch.
Okay, April, do you want to actually take it?
Oh, yeah, sorry. It's like my eyes are hurting. They're like burning.
well, this
beneath
is
my head.
Celestia, so.
Okay, I'll take Celestia. Where's Celestia?
No, I can
Twilight.
still read Celestia. You read. You can.
Okay, I'll take over.
I don't care anymore. You can read who you want.
No, it's alright. I'll take whoever.
I think Baleo was trying to say you take back Silver.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, of course.
It's at Twilight. Yawn.
Twilight. Yawn.
I thought this was Celestia,
It's
based off the context.
quite late, my little
don't
pony. Is there something that you... Twilight, are you crying? You
I don't
bitch.
She,
A million
she's
words.
thinking Celestia now.
A million words that I could say raced through my mind. A million ways to explain my doubts, my fears, and how stupid I felt waking up my teacher over something so stupid. How could I apologize for how useless I felt, and how I needed her help, her guidance, and then I embraced her.
Okay, that's the issue. Is that it switched narrators? Like
Yeah, it
switched
said Twilight.
perspectives again randomly.
It
There
said
were a
Twilight at the
million
top of the
ways.
story.
I don't
Yeah.
care.
There were a million ways that I could have expressed my feelings, but I decided to just shout, "Look at this net!"
It's so weird that it's written like this. It's like weird little vignettes,
Yeah.
just sort of interspersed.
We're not
and then I
gonna be able
embraced
to get
her.
through all of this before.
And I just cried into her chest. I cried and cried and cried. Every doubt drained out of my body as she placed a protective hoof over me and leaned down, humming a quiet song as my words failed me. Oh, so melodramatic. Crystal Palace, Celestia's room. I imagine this is being fucking telegraphed to somewhere. Celestia continued to hum as she prepared 2 cups of her favorite tea, an import from the Griffin Kingdom. Celestia fondly remembered the first time she had tried it. It was a gift from the Griffins for resolving a conflict between them and a group of migrating dragons. Somehow, she had managed to accomplish her goal without starting a war. It still tasted as good as it did back then. That's why Celestia loved tea so much. Ponies change, cultures change, entire kingdoms have risen and fallen since she took the throne. Yet even after all these years, tea still tasted the same as it did when she first had it after she and her sister had fled Alicornia. Celestia banished the thought with a sad smile. This night wasn't about her. Celestia carefully balanced the tray, gingerly placing a tray of scones in between the 2 cups of tea as she floated it over to her bed, where a calm but still sad Twilight Sparkle sat, waiting for her mentor. Celestia, not one to disappoint her former student, gingerly laid down beside her student, placing a comforting wing over her nervous student. Student.
Are you feeling calm now, my faithful student?
Although it would have been proper to refer to her as a princess, Celestia had a feeling using her former title would calm her.
It's still you, Meyer.
Oh, it is. Sorry. Twilight Sparkles shook her head slowly before looking down and away from her mentor. Celestia kept a gentle smile on her face, trying not to let the lines of worry soil her face. She had to be strong for Twilight. Celestia had felt so alone these past few months. She was never able to be herself around most of her little ponies. And the two ponies... Huh?
Face. I was saying face because they said it over and over in the same sentence. To be herself around most of her little ponies. And the only two ponies alive who she felt she could talk to were off gallivanting with a pony from the world she had spent so long trying to escape. Twilight had no idea how much Celestia wanted to flip onto her back and complain about her day, her month, her life. Yet Celestia knew that Twilight needed her more than she needed Twilight, which is why she took a gentle sip of her tea, putting a comforting smile on her face, and spoke.
God damn it, stop speaking to me, story. So, Twilight, what was your what was troubling you so much?
Celestia said, fighting back the urge to yawn, because knowing how fragile Twilight was, if she even gave an inkling that she was tired, Twilight would shut down, leave, and never talk to her about whatever this was again.
What?
I really shouldn't be bothering you. I mean, you have so many more important things to do right now. Like sleeping. Maybe I could just go.
Twilight mumbled, trying to get up.
Story, my student. You'll get out of this one that easily.
Oh, that's really fucked.
Celestia placed a small bit of pressure on her wings, gently guiding Twilight back down onto the bed, keeping the same smile on her face.
Celestia slipped her tongue into Twilight's ear.
Celestia tried to coax her student into speaking.
Twilight. Twilight, when you became a princess, that was one of the first things I told you when I told you that your friends... your wings meant.
Skeleton warriors.
Skeleton warriors.
Skeleton man.
Twilight looked down, not in thought, but in defeat.
Gotcha.
You said that even though I wasn't your student, I could always come to you for guidance.
Twilight half spoke, half mumbled, trailing off at the end.
Well then, Twilight, if it's guidance you seek, my offer hasn't changed. Just like back when you were a student, take a sip of your tea beneath, breathe, and then tell me what's on your mind.
Celestia smiled as Twilight finally looked her in the eyes.
It's silver haze.
Twilight sighed, tears coming down to her eyes as she blushed at the fact that she was going to the ruler of Equestria and master of the sun with boy problems. Thankful for Celestia, Twilight's thought distracted her. So the author is just like, yeah, this conduct that Silver Haze is engaging in, that's just boy problems.
Yeah.
Thankful for Celestia, Twilight's thought distracted her from the fact that the room turned as hot as a desert for a second before returning back to normal. Celestia kept a gentle smile on her face, even though inside she wished she could bring the sun down on that two-timing plot hole. Ha ha ha, funny silly meme. Before, she was angry with Silver Haze. Now she was ready to burn that smug grin right off his face. However, although Celestia had more raw power than Silver Haze, Celestia used normal unicorn magic. Silver Haze used dark magic, which was far more potent, and Celestia swore never to use that type of power, having seen firsthand how easily they corrupt you. So he's literally a dark sorcerer.
But Silver Haze can't be corrupted because he's so cool.
He's already corrupted us inside of his soul. Ah, I see. What is it about Silver Haze that has you here?
Celestia said, trying desperately not to grab her student and cuddle her like she would go back when she was just a little filly.
Well, I mean, he's great. You know, he's brave and everything, and he loves me, I know that, but he also... Look at this net.
God, you just dated this video.
I-
Well, actually, we by default dated this video, but
yeah, sure.
I will never let go of that meme. But he also loves Luna, and I just don't know if he loves me as much as he loves her. And he's known her for a long time, and the first thing he did when he met her was say that he still loved her. But then he turns around and he's so sweet and charming, and I don't want to hurt him. And I don't know he doesn't want to, and I know he doesn't want to, but I feel he's hurting me. But whenever I try and say something, he just becomes so loving and kind and romantic.
He's an abusive fucker.
Robbie Rotten talks about relationship problems.
now look at this net.
At this point. There.
Celestia wanted to cuddle her student, tell her everything was going to be okay, that she was going to get rid of Silver Haze and everything was going to be okay. But she couldn't. She wouldn't, because Twilight needed to do this herself. Because if it didn't come from Twilight's mouth, then Haze would not accept it. And she knew if it came to blows, she would not win. Because Celestia couldn't protect her student, not from the world she had tried too hard to shield her ponies from. So she would try to help he confront it herself. Because she was weak. But Twilight was strong, stronger than she would ever be. And so Celestia felt her own heart break with every sob. She simply lifted her tea to her lips, took a small sip, and although Twilight subconsciously shifted towards her, Celestia, trying to hold back her own tears, shifted away, keeping a comforting wing on her former student as the only thing consoling her. After a minute that stretched into an eternity, Twilight stopped sobbing before apologizing furiously.
Oh yeah, that's Nero.
I'm so sorry, Princess. This isn't villain-like behavior. This isn't even proper pony behavior.
Celestia held up a hoof to stop her.
You are forgiven, Twilight. However, this is an issue that I cannot do it any more than advise you on from a distance. If you feel this way, about Silver Haze, you must make yourself heard. Silver and Luna probably have no idea you feel this way. If you feel that there is no way to make yourself feel comfortable in this arrangement like this, you must let Silver Haze know, and he must choose.
No, that's not what should happen. You should leave Silver Haze and make the choice yourself, and not let them make the choice.
Piece of shit.
Because if you let them make the choice, then they get the last laugh. And they're basically dumping you.
And he gets to keep on manipulating you, because he's going to find a way of making this all work out for him.
Right. Celestia took a long sip of her tea, trying hard not to break the cup with her magic.
It's like
Who's the main character of Three Me?
Razor Grays. Yeah. This is all I can say, Twilight. This is the issue that you must solve yourself. You must make it yourself known. No, you can always confide in me or your friends, or in the future, you are not alone, Twilight, and I have a feeling your friends will feel the same way I do. You can look for them for encouragement if you need it.
Celestia stopped, trying to think of anything else to say. Thankfully, Twilight cut her off.
Are you a real villain?
Princess.
Princess.
Please, this is a long chapter.
Well, it's almost done.
Mm.
Can I stay here for the night?
Celestia smiled. Some things never changed.
Like war.
Like war.
Anytime, my student. Anytime. Crystal Empire. Doodle-doodle-doop.
Silver Haze woke up in a haze. He turned to his side to see Luna was asleep. Silver quietly got up and left the room. The hallways were dark, only lit by candle, which weren't doing a very good job. Still groggy, Silver went down to the kitchen to get breakfast. As he passed the window, he noticed it was still night.
God.
Dun dun dun.
Okay. It was still night. Maybe I should wake up Luna.
Silver whispered, trying not to make much noise. As he continued down the hall, he saw the shape of a pony run past him, and he quickly turned around to see who was there. Nothing. Silver put a hoof on his.
I'm tired, probably seeing things.
Silver shook it off his mind, but that enough didn't exactly want to leave him. As when he turned the corner, he was struck by a pony, and they both fell down. Silver quickly got up, only to see that the other pony was a good 10 gallops away.
Oh god, it's fucking Equestria girls.
Oh my god.
Get on, fuck.
Really?
What a quick little mare.
It's called a Alicornian, guys.
What a quick little mare.
Silver said as he gave chase. When Silver saw what the pony had in her saddlebag, he ran even faster. At some point, Silver had passed Twilight at one of the hallway cross sections,
oh my God,
but continued.
He's gonna be going to fucking human land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like human haze.
As he didn't want to lose the mare, but he saw Twilight follow him. Silver chased the mare down the halls, and eventually it led to a large room with the mirror placed in the center, near the back.
Okay. Nowhere left to run, criminal scum.
Silver called.
Who are you? And why do you have that chest from the crystal tree?
Silver became annoyed when all the mare did was snort at him and, to Silver's astoundment, leap into the mirror.
Stop!
He left.
No! Don't open that portal to another dimension! I mean, stop
Silver
this instance.
shouted
Stop! You have violated the law.
and jumped in headfirst, followed by Twilight.
Stop.
All right,
Look
I'm
at
gonna
this.
read this
sorry,
fucking
okay.
author's note to finish
no.
this.
I'll get this. I can do this really quickly.
Okay, you want to?
Yeah. Author's
Let's do
note.
it.
Hello, every pony. Okay, it's time to get serious. I've been reading reading over the comments, and I think it's time to start making Silver Haze better. And I don't mean more awesome, because I'm not like I can do better than I am already. I
Kill
mean
yourself.
better as a better character. I hear you laughing, but my boyfriend and I are starting to take an extra steps to make this do better. I do read the comments, even if I don't reply to them all, and I understand a lot of what you guys say. Well, I do think I'm a good writer. I understand that just because I don't write often doesn't excuse bad quality. I get it. If you put it online, you get critiques. You may not notice the difference, but we're taking baby steps. Also, to talk about Silver Haze, yes, I understand he has some bad qualities that make him sometimes unlikable, but isn't that what makes a good character? I tried to add flaws that didn't just
Yes,
come...
he is the best character.
I could go on like a 2-hour lecture as to why that didn't make him a good character
Don't
and why
worry,
he's
one
still a
person
bad
probably
character.
already did.
Yeah, I tried to add flaws that didn't just
I
come
don't
up with
need to.
when convenient, but decided the way he acted. Didn't just come up when convenient, but dictated the way he acted. And yes, I know it makes him unlikable at times, but he is also a very likable character, I feel. And I can tell you the next
Get
few...
run over by a steamroller.
I can tell you the next few chapters are going to be a painful to write for me. As let's just say that things aren't going to go Silver's way over the next little bit. Shocking, and it's going to hurt me personally. But just stick with me, guys. I can do good. I've seen it. My BF has told me he sees it. My friends see it. And so I ask you to just step the fuck back, Give Hayes one more chance.
Oh, trust me,
Phew.
I'm giving him all of the chances.
Phew.
I love him.
Now that was a bit too serious for me, but anyway, thanks to my BF for helping me write most of this chapter, because I know how much you guys prefer his writing over mine when it comes to more heavy hoofed stuff. Smiley
So she just
face.
went on this big rant about how.
She's improving.
I'll let you
in
finish this.
Okay. I know the end was a bit rushed, but I couldn't think of a good way to get them into the portal, but I swear I'm going to be expanded on later. Cross my heart and hope to fly. More to come.
So
I have
She's
no
like-
way of making this happen, so I will ham fist it to happen, and not just go with a different idea.
So wait a minute. She's like, so I asked you to just step back and give Hayes one more chance, and then immediately in the next paragraph she's like, yeah, my boyfriend wrote this chapter. Fuck you! You're not even the author of this chapter. You can't use it as an example of the quality of the story and then ask your audience to give it another chance.
No,
That's not how writing works.
I am pretty sure that, okay, her boyfriend probably did write a majority of the chapter, but I know for a fact that he's her editor. At the very
Right,
least.
but it
So at
says
the-
right there, it says, because I know how much you guys prefer his writing over mine when it comes to more heavy hoof stuff.
Oh yeah, it directly says, thanks to my BF for helping me write most
Most
chapter.
of this chapter.
Yeah. So either he is also illiterate, or he just doesn't give a fucking single shit about editing.
Like, this felt a little bit
Like-
better than the average, but still.
Like she hands him the story, and then he's like, "This is good."
It
Most
felt
I think he's just half-assing it.
it felt more coherent, but coherence doesn't count for anything when you
When-
have
yeah.
such just bland everything.
And I mean, the story was still riddled with grammatical errors anyway.
Yeah.
I know,
Like,
but at least
I
they-
like the fact that they added bad character traits. Just
But
and
they
that-
added too many and expect us to still like him.
they
Like-
threw too many too quickly and completely made us question
Yeah,
why Twilight.
To us,
So-
like, the audience now doesn't view him as a, flawed character as we all are. The audience now just views him as an asshole.
Yeah.
You mean the flawless asshole?
Oh,
It's,
God.
it's like the only other way
What a
you can
grand
get
way.
you can
We're-
make a great character is to make them relatable in their bad qualities.
We're getting close to New Year's
I
on the
know,
West
we
Coast.
gotta stretch it just a few more minutes. But no, that's the thing. Like the negative qualities. Like she's like, oh yeah, I'm writing him with some new negative qualities and stuff. But it's like all these seem to be is like people are actually calling him out on kind of being a dick about the whole polygamy thing and being a bit of a racist, which both came from like earlier in the story when those were not considered to be negative qualities. He himself never faces any repercussions for those. Like he only, is now having like any problem because like Celestia is convincing Twilight to, actually grow a goddamn spine about it. Like it's not that she's writing him with like more negative qualities that are going to have a impact on the way he develops as a character. It's just that like she's now finally coming to the realization that hey, maybe if I treat some of these drawbacks as actual drawbacks, it might make for slightly more interesting drama. And that's okay, that's an improvement, but it's not like you're making the story substantially better. You're just kind of fixing some horribly broken parts of it. It's just like you're doing the bare minimum necessary to get the story to where it should have been in the first place, which is still shit, but at least not totally garbage fire. Poop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I like to
Yes.
debate ferments. Yeah,
Yes.
the tea bit was pretty cool.
What about tea? I can't remember.
Like how everything else in the world changes, but tea always tastes the same.
Yeah, that felt like some of the
That felt
stuff.
arty.
I was listening to the first chapter that we read recently, re-listening to the. Anyway, the point is, like, it was the thing where we were like, wow, this feels like a kind of shitty but competent fantasy writer wrote this, and like it turned out that it was her boyfriend. And again, in this one, it's like, hey, there's a few parts of this that actually kind of read like not terribly good, but at the very least, you know, competent, you know, drama writing and character writing. Like, oh yes, because her boyfriend wrote it. Like, there's just,
I'm improving, you guys.
I'm improving.
Here's
and
a
then I got
chapter
someone
about
better at
that
writing than me
my
to write some shit.
boyfriend read. I'm improving.
I improve.
1 more minute.
Okay, well anyway, 30 seconds, 35 seconds.
On the bright side,
25 seconds.
but on the bright side, Haze is slowly going down. It is already as a classic character now within the vault of Duhad. Vault of Let's Read. You know, right now up there with Gyro Khan, Razor Graze, fucking Reaper,
Sketty go.
Sketty Go.
2, 1. Happy New Year!
Yeah.
Now look at this net.
Thank you all very much for joining us
The
for
first
When I
meeting
say
of
go.
the year.
2016. It's been New Year's for 3 hours for me, dude. But thank you all for joining us for this year of Let's Read, Let's Role Playing, all the rest of it. And we hope you enjoy 2017.
You're going to see us next year. Or,
Hopefully.
well,
Jesus
this
Christ,
year.
guys, I haven't showered in a year.
Oh
I
my
haven't-
god.